Welcome to season 2 of On the Spot. At On the Spot, we discuss the issues.
My guest tonight, at 12 years old, was abducted from his village Kamabonko in 1996 by the Revolutionary United Front, along with other boys, to fight in the Civil War as child soldiers. He fought alongside the RUF for 3 years until 1991, when a terrible but life-changing incident occurred that saw Santigie dropping the guns and running for a new life. He made it out alive, unlike many child soldiers, and today, through his organization, We Yone Child Foundation, is positively impacting lives. He joins me to share his story on the show. Santigie Bayo, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining me here.
Thank you very much, Stella.
So, you've got a very touching story, and let's start with what childhood looked like for you before the war reached, your village in Kamabonko.
Mm-hmm.
What was life like for you?
Well, I would say, I came from a poor background, and then our main economic activities was mainly on agriculture, palm wine tapping, and also blacksmith, because my father is a blacksmith. And so these are the kind of things that we are doing to survive. And then, I think there was nothing else, just that palm wine tapping. Yes, I also, do palm wine tapping whilst going to school at primary level. Yeah.
Okay, and how many were you in your family?
5.
5.
Yeah.
That's like how many boys? How many girls?
Only 2 boys and 3 girls.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
So basically, it was just like the normal, everyday family, up country.
Yeah.
Life was, I'd say happy. Like everyone was happy.
Yeah, of course, because we just believe that that's the only thing we know about is doing farming, going to the bush and come back home, and whatever we have, we share together as family, and we're happy with that.
And then suddenly, it seemed like the world turned around, it changed in an instant.
Yeah.
Take us through on that fateful day.
Yeah, I think, in life, everybody have different stories. And for my story was, as I said earlier on, depending on agriculture, palm wine tapping, and as well as also blacksmith work. But apart of that, we'll be hearing so many things coming for us, and for me, especially me, we didn't know exactly what war was, what's fighting, people talking rebel, people talking about, we thought it's like they are animals, or, we started hearing some names, prominent names in Dr. Usu, other people, Sam Bokari, not until when our village was attacked, because our village is very close to Kamakwe, which is the Karina headquarter town. And so they were really going to the headquarter town, Kamakwe, but our village is so close, so they have to pass through our village. But I didn't know, because there was a fire that was put within the village, and then during that time when there is fire burning, for us children, we go for these rats. So we go for rats or grown pigs and other animals to eat them. So I was there, didn't know what was happening. So then by the time I come home, I met my people, like everybody's busy, but no, I don't have knowledge. Then I just sneak away. Busy like packing things and trying to cook, but I don't have the idea. And they didn't explain to me exactly what is happening. And then I sneak away, went to the waterside, down about 1.5 miles. Then I saw people crossing over the water because, where women was and then where the men also have their bath is different. So, and I saw them like moving, coming, a lot of people carrying things. But I was just thinking like, maybe they come from work, they are now coming back home in the evening. So by the time I get home now, I couldn't find anyone. None of my parents. Everyone is gone.
So literally, the time they were busy packing.
Yes, but I didn't have any idea what was really going on, and nobody like talk to me or tell me what exactly happened. So and then I came home now, couldn't find anyone, but I knew my parents, their farm where they used to work. So I tried to chase them there because I knew something happened. Let me go where my parents used to do their farming, where they used to gather together. Maybe they are there. So on my way there now, I couldn't find anyone. So I went to another village called Balbali, and there was a society that was going on at that time. So, but I do not have the authority to go there because I'm not yet rich to be part of the society. Then I saw one of my colleagues who is also member of the society, but then he was tapping palm wine. So because most of our food there, if there is no rice, there is no other things. If you take just 2 cup or 3 cup of palm wine, you are okay to move on with your life. So I asked him to help me, to give me palm wine, and then he gave me. Then I keep on moving. But in the bush, when like if someone have passed somewhere in the morning hours, you see like some of the water on the leaves dropped, and then this is how they traced my position where I was hiding, and then they took me. But then we were not taken far away. Actually, we were just within.
That was the rebels.
Yes, so we were not taken far away. We are just within Kamakwe because when they came, they said they are not going anywhere again. They are staying. So when they took us there and they created like camps. So
Sorry to cut you. How many of you were abducted?
in our village, we were 4 in numbers, but one died during the war, and the other one he's not hearing again properly again, mentally problem, but not mental problem, but just hearing problem. Yeah, because most time when like if you are given a territory to guard, if you are like 3 or 4 of you guarding a particular position, maybe it's what we call a combat camp or a location where you need to guard a weapon or to ensure that other people are safe, you'll be given a weapon to protect yourself and also ensure that no intruder comes in. And then also at that point, if you are sleeping, you are caught sleeping, they will not do anything at that moment to you. They will just disarm you at that night, and then in the morning hour, they will ask you for the weapon. And if you do not produce that weapon, they will flog you until your engine hot. What they mean by engine hot is you stop breathing. And so that's why most people like have air problem because of that, because it means that you are like jeopardizing with the lives of commanders, the lives of other fighters. So
what was the experience like for you? Because you were abducted in 1996, and you were with the rebels up until 1999.
Yeah,
that's about 3 years.
Yeah.
What was that experience for you? What was it like?
Well,
especially as a young, innocent child.
Yeah, at that time, we don't know nothing, actually. It's like we take it like this is like a new life, a new thing, because they tell us, like they give us all those good words, they tell us that this is going to happen. And we too, because we don't have anywhere to go else to survive on or how to live again, we are now like used to the system. So we just have to dive in.
What did they tell you?
Well, most time they will tell you, will give you like you have education, you have a freedom, you have like they will take you to America, because those things are, when you are small, people telling you about America, telling you about Europe, you feel like, oh, it's like a dream thing everybody want to go into, because like we admire things that we hear about, yes, seen. So yeah.
Okay, I hope you hear. This is on the spot. We'll be back.
Domestic revenue mobilization is a key instrument for the government of Sierra Leone in reducing poverty, increasing financial independence, achieving middle income status, and charting the path for new directions. From supporting the free quality education, good roads, healthcare, electricity, and more.
Domestic revenue mobilization is very critical when it comes to national development.
Through the Asikoda world, we have developed beautiful management tools. We have also developed systems in which it will bring transparency and help to the importer, to the broker.
iTax is a platform for all your domestic taxes. The electronic cash register system is the game changer.
Let's support government by paying our taxes. For more information, visit the nearest NRA office or log on to our website www.nra.gov.sl.
All right, welcome back. For those of you just tuning in, this is On the Spot, and I have with me Santigie Bayo. So, you got abducted by the RUF, at the young age of 12, and you were just, before we went to the break, you were sharing the experience of having to be a child soldier, having to be compelled to be a child soldier, along with other young boys.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so at that moment, during the time of like our daily life, you are just like, you should be ready at any time, because most time we go on the offensive, and because we see it like it's an advantage for us than allowing other people to like attack us. And then as well as also there's a good coordination, actually, like communication at times, like communication, especially when because our commanders, they are the ones who really release information of what and what, but it's hard for you, the lower rank, to know what is happening. So all you have to do is to be ready at any time, and we are like dogs ready to go. So, and like that, we are ready to go at any time. We don't know what might happen to me, but we are just like comfortable. The only thing that normally like gives us more confidence as well, like this and what we call fetish, or try to prevent yourself from bullets, from anything coming in.
Did they put you all through that?
Yeah, we have to go through that. We have something you can tie in your hand, and then even wash your body to ensure that if something wants to happen, you will know.
But clearly it wasn't working, because
It
a
works.
number of children died.
It works for people who are capable to go through that, who are fortunate to go through that, and who also keep the rules and regulation, because whatever you get involved into, you have to keep to the rules and there's laws, and you have to follow those laws.
So during that period, clearly you didn't have no contact with your family. Didn't you make the effort to try and locate them?
I did.
Or try to find a way out?
I did at the time when they like said they base now, and they started to reintegrate with the community people, because there was a time when food shortage becomes, and they have to survive through the community people. They now started to like work with chiefs, try to work with the community leaders. Like, so some community leaders, they ask them to contribute to bring in food, other things. And sometimes if there is no, like the community do not have like salt or other things, what we normally do is to go on patrol on the offensive, and then we have we use the word called jaja, like go to some communities and just grab things you want
And bring to the
and
community.
bring back to the camp.
So, as a child, what does this mean for you? Because clearly it must have been a very traumatic experience for you. How were you able to stay sane through that period?
Well, as I said, I will always say God knows that we are not born for that, and then we are not praying for that, and because we have a purpose, God have a purpose for us, and I think that's the reason why we are prevented or preserved to continue to live until this time to tell the story and also do what we are doing this today.
You know, a lot of people recounted horrific things that they had to go through, they were compelled to do in fear of repercussion from the commanders. Was that the same for you?
No, because when a commander told you to go somewhere, you have to go. The only things most time what we do is you have to think about yourself as you think about others, and you have to know what you do because you know that this is not going to last forever, and also you have to consider yourself because for us it is our own home in our own area. Kamakwe is our own home, is our own area. So whosoever you go to, you should also think that these are the people also, they are your people. You have been living with them together. Now that you are in this kind of situation, you have to be careful because this will also end one day and you have to see them. You have to go back to your...
So that was the mindset you had during that period.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you did stay with them for about 3 years, and you were operational at Kamakwe.
Yeah, but they always send us in another places within.
At some point in time, you moved to close to the Guinean border.
Yeah.
What I guess that was where the turning point really came for you. Take us through on that.
Yeah, so before ever going to Guinea border first, what happened was these disarmaments have started coming in. But before the disarmament process, we went first because this disarmament process was like the talking was going through. But then there was someone who came from Guinea. It's like, I will not name, but somebody who wanted like to maybe get us to Guinea to like continue the fighting there because our commandos now know that Israeli war is coming to an end. So they wanted to like spill over the fighting to Guinea because of money, but it was not easy for us to get through. The first fighting was in 3 fronts, but then it was not easy. A lot of our friends and colleagues were killed. Even some top high commandos were killed. And at that time, when we came back, the reason that brought us or take me to Guinea border was looking for food for us. But then, unfortunately, we met with the Guineans. So at that crossfire fighting, I had a weapon, a G3 weapon that I was using at that time. But then I gave to another man of my colleagues because I saw like people are running, they don't know where to go. So then I saw this child because of the firing taking place, like jumping around, nowhere to go. And then I don't know what really comes to my mind. I took her. I gave the weapon to one of my colleagues, and then I took her, but she cannot able to walk because that time you go, you do what you need to do, and you have to come back because we don't stay. Because if you stay there, maybe at night, they will reorganize and come for us, yes, to fight us. And so that's why we go and then do what we need to do and then move back at the same night. But because the child cannot walk, and I really wanted to save her, then I have to take her on my back. And then at certain points, she walk again to make so that I will rest my energy and regain again. But then I was using a skill, because the skill I was using is like to voice out. When I see someone, I voice out as if we are many. So when I was going, because all my colleagues have left, all of them have gone. So like some of them thought that I'm already dead. They have killed me during but not knowing that I was saving the child. Then I went to one of the village.
How far did you have to walk from
over
Indian border with this child?
within from Kamakwe to Sanya, which is the border of between Sierra Leone and Guinea. I think it's over 20 miles. Yeah.
And you carried this child?
Yes. So because when I brought her, before even coming to the camp, so my colleagues reorganized themselves again, like coming to look out for me or coming to assure if I'm really safe. And then so they met me on the way coming. And I told them I was saving this girl so that at least I was able to save her. So, and then I didn't have a weapon, and I don't want to leave her at the middle of the bush or middle of the road. Anything can happen with her. So when I brought her, and funnily, one of our commandos was in love with one of the family of that child. Yeah. So, and then I handed over the child to them. And since then, we couldn't see each other anymore. I traveled to Freetown in year 2000, and then this DDR program came in. So I was enrolled into that DDR program.
All right. Yeah. I'm going to hold you on the DDR program, which is the disarmament program. Yeah. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back. This is On the Spot.
Setting up a business can be a headache, finding office space, buying furniture, printers and photocopiers, but if you're not ready for all that, BSI can help. BSI provides furnished and serviced office spaces for the short or medium term, whether it's for a day meeting, a conference or an immediate office rental for a few months. There are no long-term cost commitments and the offices are fully equipped with all your office needs. Or we can simply provide you with a prestigious business address thanks to one of our virtual offices. Find out more about BSI, your office away from the office. Go to bsisl.com or call 076 242 328.
All right, welcome back. Of course, this is On the Spot. For those of you just tuning in, I have with me Santigie Bayo. So before we took the break, we're going to take us through on the disarmament process and being reintegrated to the community and basically how you were able to turn your life around, the rehabilitation process.
Yeah, I think talking about the disarmament process, there was a program called YRTP, Youth Reintegration Training and Education for Peace, which was conducted by World Vision, Sierra Leone, So we went through that process. They have some stations. So our station was in George Duazak. So we went through the process, which involves community work, how we integrate with other people. There are also some kind of educational program that was, we were taught. And then I think that's helped us a lot, again, to get involved within the community. And yeah, so as I was saying before, the disarmament process, we were already now started to reintegrate or visiting our parents, going to our home back. Sometimes it's difficult for them to, not all we welcome you at that time, but then your parents, your child is your child. And we didn't do it out of our will. It's just like a situation that we are unable to escape. So we just have to go through it. And so they welcome us back, and we are coming and going back with our weapons. Yeah, we sat together, we drink palm wine together again as usual, but not going again with them. I'm not in a different form now, but not we go there with violence or this. No. We work together, they advise us, but we are tied up. You can't just leave and then you stay. They will come for you, and when they come for you, they will beat you up seriously in a merciless beats. And this is what we are afraid of, and this is why most of our colleagues have issues with their brain or their ear. Some not just fighting, but because of the discipline that is within. Yeah. So that's it.
Thankfully, you came out alive, and you mentioned you went through that rehabilitation process and it went through the educational programs that was offered. Because I know that you started an organization called We Yone.
Yeah, We Yone Child
Foundation.
Yeah.
Was that what inspired you to start this foundation, to go into community service, sort of giving back to the society?
I think the inspiration started from, at that time I saved that child that's around 5 to 6 years old. I think that's where I started. When I came to Freetown, I started doing some volunteering program after the reintegration program. And then but most of the program that we were doing at that time was based on human rights issues. And then the communities where I was working, like Krube and George Brook Duazak, was mainly talking, some of the people, the problem that we were facing, especially the places where we used to sit and discuss those things, mainly the education problem, because the war has just ended and education issue arise, no infrastructures. So I focused my attention to start my organization mainly on education. So, yeah.
So how was it for you to get that started? First of all, how long a period from the time that you were reintegrated back into the community into the time that you decided, okay, I want to serve the community, I want to give my time in helping other people?
Yeah.
How long a period?
Well, it's really a long period a bit, because the idea started in 2009. The idea started in 2009. But then getting to that point, to where I am now, it wasn't easy because, one, I was not working. The only thing I live by is when someone sent me to deliver. I was living with one of my uncle. Not a real uncle per se. When you talk about your uncle, people who come from your family background. Because where I was staying first, after when I came from the village, after the disarmament process, I was staying with one of my real uncle. But then I have this problem, kind of an isolation thing. They look at me as not someone that they will integrate with much more. And I was suffering there, actually. But then I have this idea, or I have this intention of changing my life, and I know that there is no one else can do it but myself. Then I started first doing security work at night. So these local and security companies. I started with SSGI, Security Support Group International. I was working at night. So I worked there for 8 years. And first, after the 4 years, then I decided to continue my education. So I went to one of the, they are called like inspectors of schools. So I went there. The guy is no more in Freetown now. He's now living in the US. So I went to him, Mr. Baba. I spoke to him, and then he found a school, those display school. But then when I went to this display school, I was not feeling happy, because like things I need to learn or things I need to know, it's like things were too low at that school. Yes, beyond my level. Yes. So then I asked them to help me for UMass. Then I went to UMass. They took me into UMass. Then I started my Becker. I went to Albert Academy. And then I did not have a very good grade at the first sitting. And then I started again to resit my exam. I went to Kamakwe again. Kamakwe to resit again, but it's so hard. So then I went to Miltimagai. So I enrolled myself to Miltimagai. So I was doing I was studying business management. So at Miltimagai now, I was doing my business management study daytime, and then at night I go for my security work. So I was funding myself. Then I continued with that, but it was difficult for me. I couldn't do all the how do you call it, the classes, because I have to go back to find something to eat. So sometimes I always stay there until 12 o'clock. After 12, I'm off. Even if another lecturer comes, I will not be there. I will just rely on to my friends to get back information or notes, and then photocopy and read them.
So basically that sort of further ignited the need for you to sort of work within the educational
aspects,
sector.
Yeah.
And you chose certain communities to start this work.
Yeah.
How has that been for We Yone Child Foundation, just sort of showing that support?
Yes, I think, first of all, the things that really also inspires me is like when I was volunteering for these other organizations, we go for workshops, through those workshops, we learned a lot from people contributing. We see how things are moving, how things are going, and then in the offices, like they show us what to do and this. But then my attention mainly goes on using the computer, internet stuff, and I became more strong in the internet aspect. So I designed like free website for my organization, and then whatever I do during the day, I come to the website and update, and then give information. Not until when this Facebook social media started coming in, then I started using those handles to share my stories, share what I do. And then in 2011, I got 8 international volunteers from the US, from the UK, and from Portugal. So since then, I then seized that opportunity, spoke to some of them. One is Nicholas Mason, and then the other one is Sarah, Portugal. So 2 of them decided to continue to push my agenda, my vision. And then, we then connected with Street Child. We started working together. I started implementing programs for Street Child. And then, so up until now, working with other NGOs, other international.
So there's
donors.
a lot of collaboration with other NGOs.
Yeah.
Right. We're gonna take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll just sort of delve into the work that We Yone Child Foundation is doing.
Yeah.
We'll take a break. We'll be back.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Abu. I am calling for your rental tax payment.
Oh my goodness.
Hello? This is a call from the
Your colleague is on the other line. Can you just please hold?
You are a landlord or property agent? You don't hear about rental income tax? As property owner or agent where they collect rent, the law say you for pay tax and are you tax identification number where they call team you they use for pay am.
Yes, me fumble them. The law say without this tax identification number, you not go able to pay your tax. And if you not pay your tax, the law go bet you tranga one. Welcome, sir. Please sit.
Thank you.
We don't make them easy for you now. The law say, since you the collect rent we pass 7.2 million leons, you for come to NIA and pay your rental tax just after we your tenants don't pay you done.
So no more calls from everywhere.
You go just get one SMS or one phone call. We go remind you, sir.
Thank you very much.
For no more, go to any NIA office near you or visit www.nia.gov.sl.
Remember, paying taxes is required by law.
So before we took the break, so we just sort of went through on the volunteers, international volunteers, and collaborations that the organization has been able to forge so far. So, you know, how has it been getting the foundation to where it is now? But most importantly, what really is the work the foundation is doing? What are some of the work or projects it has embarked upon?
Yeah, getting us to this point where we are today, it's not an easy task because coming from different background, you know, and then with no much knowledge, much more like everything like in the hard way to get things done.
Learning on the job.
Yeah. So you have to know what to write, ensure that it's correct. You have to know how to approach people who don't know you, who have never seen you have never met together.
Before,
so it's difficult, but I think with the passion that you have, people will tell that yes, you are really doing this and it is for real and it's really coming in your heart.
Yeah.
So I think that's one aspect that really helped me to get to this point, because as of today now, I'm talking about so many things that I've done, and when I'm passing through the communities where I'm working, I can sense that by the way people are calling me, children are coming closer to me, calling me, and parents are saying thank you.
Wonderful.
So.
And so what are some of those work?
Yeah. Well, I've constructed in Freetown alone. I've constructed 2 primary schools, and then also currently constructing a secondary school, and then also I've established skill training center for empower women and girls. And then
in Freetown here.
In Freetown here, I'm talking about Freetown here, and then also I have established a computer training center that hosts over 50 people that's currently going through the training there. And I've given business grant to over 200 families in Freetown, just in Freetown. And also every year I have what we call Football for Social Change or Sport for Social Change. So I connect other schools within the communities, especially slums community, I use the sports as a means of advocacy, especially against teenage pregnancy and early marriage, because I believe that sports, especially football, is the most attractive sport in the world.
Yeah.
So I use that as a way of bringing both the perpetrator and the victims together, watching football, and then we use that time to send out messages against teenage pregnancy, against rape. So people will learn and then get to know that this is a bad thing to do, and also community leaders can also come together to take action and also ensure that they protect the children within the community where they are. And in Putloko, I've also renovated a primary school there where children were sitting on the floor, no benches. And so I went there and renovated the entire school. And in my hometown where I'm born, I'm currently constructing a primary school there, 6 classroom structure plus an office space and then a store, which I'm planning to open, officially launch May 11. I have my colleagues, donors, and supporters coming from Holland and Ghana. So May 11, I'm launching it officially. And other things I'm doing in the rural area is also like family business grants. I've given out seedling to 100 farmers because they said it's difficult for them to get the seedling because whenever they do agriculture, they eat everything. So getting back seed to do another farming is becoming a problem. And now most of the young people are getting involved into this timber logging, avoiding agriculture, and things. The survival become more difficult. Things are getting more expensive. Just a bottle of water in Kamakwe is 6,000, whilst in Freetown here it's like 4,000, maybe 5,000 or 3,500. So we then try to support the farmers to provide them seedlings. At the end of the harvesting, we try to get the seedlings back with a little bit of interest so that we can expand the program. So those are some of the things. And for the women as well, we have what we call reusable sanitary pads, because we find out that during our assessment that most girls who are mature will not come to school or class because of menstruation period. So we support them with menstruation pad, which is a reusable sanitary pad.
All this is just done through your organization. How is it with funding? Because clearly for you to carry this out, you do need some strong funding and support. How is it?
Well, normally what I did is to encourage international volunteers to come. In my office, we have what we call homestay. So in our office, we have open office. So the rooms, I created bunk beds. So when they come, they don't spend their money in the hotels. They spend the money in our organization. Yes, and then like one of our schools, we have what we have kiosks or shops. So we rent to the community. So the community people buy food stuff that people find it difficult to get in the market in a wholesale, and then they sell in a small retail business to the community. So we rent the shops there. And we also write proposal grants, and then do try to get with in partnership with international organizations that are operating in Sierra Leone. So we implement their programs in Sierra Leone.
So how much, having to embark on this and carry out all this project means there has to be a level of trust in the work you do, in the organization. How were you able to build that trust?
One is kind of openness, transparency, one in the finance aspects, and two in the activities. You have to let your donors go and see what you have done, what you have said, because people are good in report writing. But when you go to the field to see exactly what
they've done,
it's difficult to see. Well, this is where I try to ensure that I grab that kind of trust in the activities, getting people to attest that yes, this have reached me and I can test that, and you will see for yourself. We have this girls program as well, where you go there every Thursday. We have 3-month pilot project currently, and we hope to continue with it. So you go there every Thursday from 2 p.m. We have like safe space for girls, and we have other girls that are like serving as mentors. So you go, you see everything for yourself. I don't have to, maybe if I talk here, I will not be able to explain everything as it is. But when you go there for yourself, you see for yourself.
It seems like a lot of the work is centered around education and girls. Is there any that targets boys and young men? And I say this because we have a growing number of young people who delving into substance abuse. We have a growing rate of crime within the community. So is there anything that targets young men from your work?
For now, as I said, we just started the computer training center. and which we are now using currently to get both these young men getting involved into. And for those who do not have ideas or have not gone to school, especially those on the streets, we work with a partner called Consortium for Street Children in the UK. So we place them into their what they want to learn. Like some choose to be a driver, or some choose to be like carpentry or
So
so.
you take them
So
through
we
some
take them, yes,
skills training.
yes, skills training. So we provide them those training, and then now what we are looking at is to how we can give them a startup kit so that they can able to establish their own businesses by themselves. And yeah,
If things were different and that fateful day in 1996 did not happen, would you be doing what you're doing now, or would you be where you are today?
I think what I would say is a destiny. When you are born to do something, at that moment you will not know what you are going to become. And I know it's a story that I have to pass through this, and then to the next point. And I think this is what has happened to me, and I take it that way. Yeah.
And have you at any point in time come in contact with maybe any of the, fellow children who were also sort of abducted and forced
Of course, yes.
into
Yes.
the war?
Yeah.
You've met them. How has been the interaction? And in any case, have there been any support that you may have rendered to those who may need the support?
Like, as I said earlier on, like in my home, I can refer in Kamaku, my hometown.
Yeah.
So one of the boys I told you about, we were all in the same unit, and he's not now like having good hearing sense, but he's doing another work, like tiling work. So, and for me here in Freetown, well, it's hard for people to share stories, exactly. But for me, I'm happy to share these stories because I knew other people are there. They can't able to share these stories, like what I'm doing now. But I'm doing this because I want other people, my colleagues as well, who are doing something also good at the corner, people, so that people will not think like, they are just doing this, but this is not our liking. This is not what we are born to do.
Yeah.
But I think now we are lucky to share the stories and to now doing what we are born to do. And I think maybe along the way going, I've been helping similar people who have gone through what I've gone through, but they will not be able to share the story that as I'm doing now today. But I'm happy that I still continue to help, and I know like some who are not like doing anything. We met, we keep talking, we keep discussing. Sometimes we even provoke each other, considering the names that we were calling each other before to now it's different. So yeah.
So, for people watching, what would you like to say to them?
Well, one thing I would like to say to them is that not every rebel was a bad person. It's only that majority, when something happened, you'll be classed in the same position. But not everybody in the same way or doing the same thing. And I believe there are other people, victims, who can say that guy was a rebel. He saved me and he protected me. He directed me where to go to save. People can say that. Other people can sit and talk about it. And the same thing also, like when people talk about people who are in the RAF are bad people, the same other people can also say these soldiers who they may be like see as angels or support, there is someone who also said this soldier was a bad soldier. He did that. So so we are all Sierra Leoneans, and we are all like, I would say not everybody fortunate to like stay home or be safe without this kind of stories or without being through this. So yeah.
It's part of life, and probably it was a journey that you needed to undertake,
Of course.
to be able to get to where you are, probably do what you're doing. If there's anyone out there who probably wants to support the organization and just continue to support the amazing work that We Yone Child Foundation is doing, how would they go about it?
Yeah, we have our website, which is www.weyonechildfoundation.org, or you can contact us by email or through our Facebook, We Yone Child Foundation. Just go there, you'll find us.
Wonderful. I want to say thank you so much, Santigie, for joining me on the show and just sharing a bit of your story. There's the saying, all is well that ends well.
Yeah.
And so far, there's just so many good that you and your organization have been doing in your own little way, in impacting change. So we do say thank you, and we wish you all the best. And
thank you.
Hopefully, as the conversation continues, and eventually at some point in time, we will get the opportunity to go down and
you're invited.
Come and just
come
go
up here,
and take
put
a
local, Freetown here, Kube and George Brook. You are invited.
Yes. So where for most of these areas, for example, you've got an office. Where is the office for anyone
Our
who
office
just wants
is
to visit?
Our current office is located at 6 Mile Pharmacy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This is On the Spot. Coming up are my final words.
In my final words, in life, many things will happen along the way that will either make or break you, depending on your mindset and your determination to succeed despite the reality. Many of the world's successful people had to go through untold challenges and in some cases, near-death experiences. It is important to know that life is never a smooth journey, not a walk in the park. And many of the challenges you may be going through today, someone somewhere has gone through worse and overcame because they neither gave up or, as we all say, they chose to fight it through. The final outcome of who you become or what you achieve is totally dependent on your decision to make the change. I'd like to say a big thank you to our partner, the National Revenue Authority, who without their support, we would never have been able to bring you such amazing conversations like this. Remember that the development you hope to see in Sierra Leone requires that we all play our part by paying our taxes. Thank you so much for watching, but the engagement continues online and we would love to have you join the conversation. Have your say in tonight's conversation by dropping your comments on our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel, On the Spot with Stella. Thank you so much. Don't forget to don't forget to subscribe to our channel for those of you watching so that you stay updated on all our programs. Well, of course, as always, to know more, head on to our website, www.onthespotwithstella.com. Keep watching, keep talking, keep it on the spot. Until next week when we'll be back, stay fabulous.